Hey guys, Level here. We're back with the Starladder Major Part 2, Stage 2. Unfortunately, I did not upgrade my coin in Stage 1. Please drop a subscription if you would like to have the full chronological chronological viewpoints from level maximum in Stage 3 and the playoffs. I don't know yet if I'm playing for the silver coin or the gold coin, but I know I'm playing for the Budapest coin. So, I mean, that's a good start, right? At least we're not playing for like some other coin. But let's take a look at stage one. Let's do a small reflection. So, I initially picked M80 to go 3-0. They went 3-0. They beat Bait, which is a team that a lot of people like. I particularly don't. So, M80 beats Bait. They beat Paravision with a few rounds to spare, and they 2-0'd NRG. So, kind of a pretty easy way in, especially against NRG, who's missing Nitro, and Paravision, who has four rookies. And they played Mirage 3 out of 4 maps. Now, I mean, whatever. Like, I believe in them. I think they can play other maps. I think this is going to be a good confidence booster, and I think they can. They've shown in the past to be able to beat stronger teams. So, who knows if they'll get through the next stage. I put Phase 3-0 because their first matchup was against Slim Vision, right? So they're going to start off 1-0. And then, you know, they were kind of supposed to beat NRG or anybody in this upper bracket, really. Realistically, they should have beat any team in this upper bracket. They lost. Dust 2. Personally, if I'm FaZe Clan, I would bring it to any other map other than Dust 2 so that you have a theoretical advantage just on the pure game theory on the map. Because Dust 2 is the single map where the theory is flushed out. Like, and you also lost the fucking Shanghai major final on this map. Why? Because the theory is flushed out. And anytime you pick this map, it is purely a coin flip. So another really bad decision by FaZe Clan here. I don't know what map was available. I could look it up, I guess. There was 3 maps. FaZe Clan removed Inferno to give NRG Nuke and Dust 2. So instead of removing Inferno, they should have just removed Dust 2. I mean, that was a really bad decision. And then who'd they lose? They lost to Nip. Understandable. I would say Nip is in probably better form. They beat Red Canids barely, and then they beat Fluxo. So they did get through. It was a team that I thought was gonna get through, but they didn't go 3-0. Maybe I don't know. I feel like they had a good chance to go 2-0. They messed it up, and then they won out from there. So it was really just the best of one on Dust 2. So I guess in the map veto and in this strength of teams, like they got through, but honestly, if you go watch their games, if you go watch their T sides, they should be called Cake Clan because they're fat and lethargic. Like their T sides are so fucking dog shit, and I don't think they're gonna make it through stage 2. I had FlyQuest going through. I didn't realize that FlyQuest was gonna be so good at video games, and that they were gonna go 3-0. Again, like you could say like easy draw, but not really because Legacy is not a bad team. Imperial has some players that are a little scary. You know, there's at least 3 players on Imperial that like you would think could do something. And honestly, that Fluxo team's not bad. I mean, they clearly didn't show it here, but the Fluxo team, you know, it's got art. You know, his IGLing is aggressive and can catch people off guard. But I guess it didn't work in this best of three. Gamer Legion major letdown. They lost to Fluxo. Okay, fine. They lost really badly to Red Canids. That's not good. They beat a Chinese team in a best of three, and then they lost to Vision in a close match. Um, really disappointing. Nip played great, like what I saw. Fnatic, I wish they were more convincing. Um, but I mean, they got through. NRG should have went through. Like, they didn't have Nitro, but it shouldn't matter. Like, they went 2-0, and then they lost to M80. Okay, understandable. Then you have to beat Fnatic here, man. Look how close it was. They won the first game. Then it was 13-10 and 13-9. Like, you just have to win one of those games, man. That's a dream map pool, too. Like, just to make things, like, simple for, the, not having Nitro. They had to get it done here. And then Imperial, they're like, oh, they have a sub. Why would we play Mirage, Dust 2, or Inferno? Why would we do that? We're going to avoid those maps. I guess actually one of these maps was picked by NRG, which is not. That was just bad, man. It's just stick to the basics. So NRG really should have went through, but they didn't, and then they just didn't. Legacy also kind of a letdown, but I mean, they didn't play FlyQuest. They beat a Chinese team. They beat a shittier Brazilian team. And then they lost to Bait, understandable. And then they had to play Vision, both the CIS teams. So they just had a bad run. I would say they probably had one of the harder runs, and they didn't make it. In the O3 slot, I put Bait because I don't like Bait. And I put the Huns. Now, the Huns actually have a lot of firepower. I never really looked at their roster when I put them here. If I could go back in time, I would put Vision in for NRG, and I would put one of the Chinese teams down here. I know Bait is better than 0-3, but I was just kind of plotting on their downfall. Maybe I would have put both the Chinese teams down here if I could. But they played really well at the Shanghai Major and the major before that, I think. Like, they did well enough. Rare Adam played bad last time, but I mean, Lin Vision was good. So kind of weird that they both went 0-3 this time, but it is what it is. So in terms of stage 2, these are the picks I made. I know this video is a little late, but it's just for having the entire. I'm just, I could have posted this 10 hours ago. I could have posted this 20 hours ago. Why would I do that when it doesn't matter because no one's gonna watch anyways? You know what I mean? Unless you are gonna watch, and then you have the complete story, you know? So, anyways, here are the teams I picked. Now, my coin is already over, so I'm kind of just playing for aura. All right. Oh wow, Astralis lost, so there goes my 3-0. I put them in 3-0 because I was like, fuck it, bro, they're gonna do this shit. But honestly, Nip is playing well, and that was a really hard matchup. So it's fine. I mean, it's not gonna be easy to go 3-0 here. So I was figuring if Astralis was gonna win the first game, like they could go forward, but that's already my pick gone. The other team I put here was Liquid because they had a really good matchup. I don't remember who the matchup was. I think it was like Imperial or Passion UA maybe. I think Liquid has a good chance to go 3-0. For teams I have going through, I put M80 because that's my ride or die. I put them here. I put Fnatic because that's my spray, and they beat 3D Max, so that's good. 3D Max, I don't know what to think of. I've never really watched them play, but I've heard they're pretty good. So whatever, Fnatic kind of crushed them on Inferno. That's nice. I put FlyQuest because I guess they were very impressive in the first stage. And I already had them going through the other stage anyways, so they're probably better than I think they are. I put Na'Vi. This is a weird one. Because Navi's been so bad, and they're gonna lose their first matchup most likely to whoever they're playing. But you just have to hope that Blade finds a way, even though he hasn't really been finding a way recently. And they need some serious changes on that roster, but I think they'll manage to scrape by 3-2. And then I have the Turkish team Aurora, because they're pretty good. And obviously, like I'm sure the matchups the first round matchup was favorable enough where I was like, fuck it, we'll put them through. I put MIBR down here because they have the worst roster, like maybe ever. So like it's like the worst Brazilians of the 200 professional Brazilian players that exist. It's the worst ones, and then they threw Kavem and some random Russian guy in there. So this they have to lose 0-3. If they win a game, like it's bad for Counter-Strike. And then in stage 1, the Chinese teams played so bad and they went 0-3 that I just put Tai Lu here. People think Tai Lu's good. I don't watch Asian Counter-Strike, but I just like if you're Tai Lu and all of the other Asian competitors lose, then something in the region must be wrong. Like, because I guess the quality of practice recently has been really bad. Maybe because FlyQuest left or someone else left. I'm not sure who left the Asian circuit to make the practice so bad. So that's why I'm gonna put Tyloo 0-3 as just like a surprise pick, I guess. Um, and yeah, that's stage 2. So that's the complete video.